Hey, Jeff here. So, figure I wanted to show some things that I'd gotten in recently. Hadn't been a whole lot of action. I've kind of slowed down some with all the stuff I bought at Black Friday and everything. But I was able to pick up one or two things, regular stuff through the mail, and then I got a handful of stuff today at one of the local stores that I go to. They got a big batch of used stuff in, and had a flip video online, and I was just going, oh boy, I need that, I need that, I need that, I need that. Anyway, so swung by there and grabbed some of that. So I was going to show that at this time. Anyway, the one thing that came in that is new. It's one of the limited run vinyl releases that was done, as we've shown before with Retroactive Records and Rocks Records and Girder Music and No Life Till Metal, is the new Angelica. Now this is the first Angelica album, 1989, produced. Pretty much Ken Tamplin was involved in it, and they brought in Rob Rock to sing on this. The band, run by Dennis Cameron, he's a guitar player. He's one of those, just a really great guitar player. All of the Angelica stuff has been reissued recently on Girder, so it makes sense that the first record is now on vinyl. The third record is about to be released also, and they just announced the newest one, I guess would be the fifth one, the instrumental one, is also coming out on the limited run vinyl. But this came in finally. It is on Girder Music. It is on the colored vinyl, just like all the ones we've been showing recently on these. This is kind of a random color, but it's kind of a marble look there. They're in the poly sleeves and everything. Here's a picture of the band. Hold on, I can get down where you can see it. And then there's a little inset picture with Rob Rock there, because this is the actual band without him, the one who was supposed to appear, but the singer couldn't finish the album, and so they ended up having to bring in Rob Rock. Now, you may be familiar with Rob Rock. He sings for Impellitteri, had a couple albums out under the name Driver that were really good. He's all over, but he's most known, I guess, for Impellitteri and his solo work. So this is one of the early ones where it kind of got started. He wasn't real well known back here. This was, like I said, 89. In 86, he was on that Project Driver with Tony McAlpine and Tommy Aldridge and Rudy Sarzo. That was kind of like his main thing. He popped in that people started to know him. And then the following year, 87, he was on the first Impellitteri EP. Again, it was the first album by them, so they would just start getting started. So he still hadn't made much of a name. In 88, he was on Joshua's Intense Defense, overseas release only, so again, not much of a breakthrough there. And then 89, he came here, and then after this, he picked back up and did a lot of stuff with Impellitteri through the years. So, I'm going to put this in here. So that came in. That's the limited run vinyl. This is one that popped up on Amazon that I've been looking at for a while and just waiting for the price to drop, and it came down a little bit, so I grabbed it. Alice Cooper's Brutal Planet. This is during the Alice years where he really got kind of heavy. It's just on regular black vinyl there. One of the heavier albums he's ever done, and this was in the, 90s? Should I look at that first? 2000. Okay, I guess that would make sense. It was 2000. Anyway, this and a couple around this were really when he was really pretty heavy, and then he went back to more of a shock rock feel after this, kind of his more rich stuff he'd been doing over the years. So this is one of my favorite albums. It's a really good album, and so I went ahead and grabbed that. Now, this one, it has an interesting story. First off, I'll show it. This is another one of those Amazon ones that dropped down under $14. Tyrant and Legions of the Dead. So I've shown the other two that I've also picked up similarly in an inexpensive way. This one dropped. I finally was able to grab it. It is on cyan vinyl. But now here is the interesting story. I find this very interesting, and I'll have to show it. Just to show, this is the other one. I received this a couple months ago. This is on red. And then King of Kings, I guess, was one of the first or second one I picked up. Now, when I received this a couple months back and showed it in a video, I wasn't really paying a whole lot of attention. They come with inserts, okay? But the insert that came in my King of Kings was this insert. Now, you know, it can be kind of generic, except for I did notice it says Legions of the Dead. It's here, Legions in Hell. I just thought, you know, this was just kind of like a story. Maybe it just said that on all of them because it's kind of their theme. Pictures of the band. So I received this, and it was in the back of the King of Kings album. All right, got it, filed it away. Now, this shows up the other day, and the insert, the same thing. And when I flipped it over, I thought, wait a minute, those pictures look like the ones that were in the other one. And they were. Now, I opened this up. It is a gatefold. If you're not familiar with Tyrant, they're just kind of like old school heavy metal. This is back in the days when everybody was just had that sludgy sound, you know, a little bit of doomy here and there. But anyway, it is a gatefold. It's got, you know, pictures and stuff. When I opened this gatefold and opened in here, I noticed there was another insert in there. And so I reached in and pulled it out. So they had this one in there, which is normal. But then I pulled this one out, and I flipped it over, and look, it's King of Kings. So here is an insert that belongs in a different album altogether that didn't come with this. So I bought this one months ago, and it came with this. Months ago from Amazon, I bought this. Months later, I buy this, and it comes with the correct one and an incorrect one, which is an extra one, which belonged to the one that I got months ago. Now, I don't know. That seems like the chances of something like that happening seem kind of slim, but now I've got all three, and I've got all three inserts, and I've got an extra of the insert for Legions of the Dead. So anyway, I thought that just kind of came together very nicely to have all of those. Now, the next batch of stuff I got was the stuff I picked up at the store here. Went and picked it up today. They had a handful of other things that I was looking at getting, but when I looked at all the, it was too much for me to buy all at one time. And so when I looked at the quality of some of them, I was like, these are not high enough quality for me to desire to get. But the ones I did get were high enough to grab, and they're all just classics. There's nothing new here. This is all used. And it is all just classic stuff to fill gaps. But I was excited to get some of these things. Ozzy Osbourne's Tribute. The vinyl was in really good condition. It's the, you know, original release. It's on the gatefold and everything. It's got the inserts. You know, it is double record set. So this one was probably the more expensive of the ones, and I was thinking about putting it back. But when I looked at it online, I found out that, you know, the prices weren't outrageous. I couldn't touch it for less online. And so I went ahead and grabbed it. Like I said, the most costly one, but all the rest of them were really, you know, in a decent price range. So I grabbed this. Great to have that on vinyl. That's just a classic. Cinderella Night Songs. Pretty much the one Cinderella album I definitely wanted to have. I have Still Climbing on vinyl. So I'll probably end up eventually, you know, I'll pick up whatever I can get from Cinderella, but this is the one, of course, that I was really looking forward to. Def Leppard's Pyromania is in good enough condition. They had On Through the Night, which is really, I asked them to hold them for me, and On Through the Night I had them hold. This one I happened to find when I got there, but On Through the Night when I got there was the vinyl was in rough condition. Pyromania was in good condition, so I need On Through the Night. I already have High and Dry and now Pyromania, and that'll give me the top three of that point. If you hear all this rattling, my dog is running around going nuts. And he's a huge puppy now. Anyway, Dawkins Under Lock and Key. One of the other ones, when I saw the flip video, I messaged down there and said, hey, can you hold this, and this for me? And they said, sure. And then I got there, and I picked up some of these, and they were in great condition, but some of the ones that they held for me were in not so great condition. They had the live album, Dawkins live album down there, and one of the records had like just right straight across a line, a scratch. I was trying to weed out some of the ones to bring the price down, but you know, I probably should have really felt the scratch. I think they even have a record player there in the store that you can probably pop it on and listen to it. I might have should have checked it out if I go back at some point and it's still there, I may, you know, test it. But for now, I had enough going on that I decided to just leave it behind. The other Loudness album, Lightning Strikes, one that I really wanted. The first 3 American releases, I think, are the ones that I'm really keen on getting. I have Thunder from the East. Now I have Lightning Strikes. So, again, I brought this one home already. Spun it both ways through. Had one little minor skip. I was able to back it out a little bit and seems to be fine. So, sounds great. Rat, Dancing Undercover. Now, they had... Whoever the guy was that got rid of all these really, you know, could have been my best friend. He had all the good stuff. I mean, he had Out of the Cellar. The first Rat album, actually, they showed in the flip video, but it was gone. Somebody must have grabbed that. And he had Reach for the Sky, and they had Dance Undercover. So I already had the other ones. All I needed was this one. So really now I just need to get a hold of Detonator. And, I mean, obviously Infestation is going to be impossible to get. But Detonator would be the other one that's kind of hard to get that I want to get. So was able to get that. I brought that home, threw that on, gave it a quick spin, and it sounded great. Actually, I've never heard that on vinyl, and it sounded better than, as usual, kind of expected. It just sounded better than all these years of listening to CD. So the last one, this one was one that I did not see in the flip video, so I did not have them hold, but it was there, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get it just because. Adam and the Ants, Dirk Wears White Socks. Now, a couple months ago, I showed where I just had found the original 79 version of this from the UK with the black cover. This is the American release. When he started getting a little more popular all over, they reissued this. CBS reissued this. They took off about 3 songs from the original release. They took one of the songs from the original release and combined it into a single version rather than a 2-part version. And then they added a couple new songs. And so this is differently, a slightly different track list. A couple songs from 1980 that were recorded with the newer band that was formed after the original band. Ow, my dog is trying to get my foot. My dog is being crazy with my foot. So I want to get this again so I can have both versions. This is the American version. Songs different, track listing different. Good idea to grab. And so that is it, actually. Like I said, they had some other things. Some of the things in the video that I wanted that I had them hold for me was Van Halen's first album. They had the second, but I already have that. They had Women and Children first. I had them hold that for me. Both of them were in pretty rough condition when I got there. They had marks all over them, so I thought, no. Like I said, the Dawkins. There was a couple others. Some of the ones that I really wanted, and you know, I ended up having to come out without them. But and then, like I said, I did discover some other ones that they hadn't even did in the flip video that I'm like, oh, good, score. So that was enough. It's all kind of quiet now. I don't have a lot of things coming in. I've been leery to buy things because I have had my wish lists have been out there for my children to possibly pick me up stuff for Christmas. So I didn't want to start buying things that and you know complicate that. So anyway, we are on the verge of Christmas here. It is the weekend, and so I'm just going to be spinning all these things and enjoying these. And thanks for watching, and I will be back later. Show you what I got for Christmas, I guess, if not before. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and rock on. See you later.